Kelvin Gastelum missed weight by 5 pounds for his fight with Dustin Stoolsfist on Saturday. Shocking how many times he has missed weight and the amount of weight he has missed weight by in multiple weight classes. But the fight with Stoolsfist goes on. Kelvin forfeits 35% of his purse. That goes to Dustin Stoolsfist. That might be a decent amount of money because Gastelum's been in the organization quite a long time. Fought for the title at one point, so 35% of his purse will probably be a decent amount of money for Stoolsfist, but he gives up a weight advantage, which could cause him to lose, and he'd lose his win bonus then, so I don't know, might even out, we'll see. But he has a decent chance to win because he's active, he goes for a lot of takedowns, he throws a lot of strikes, so he may edge out a decision. But as far as Gastelum goes, he may be cut by the organization. He's missed weight so many times, and he's no longer a huge asset for the UFC. He's not a title challenger like he was in the past. He's not putting on crazy fight of the year fights like he did in the past. He's not getting some spectacular knockouts like he did in the past, so more of a liability in terms of missing weight, and costly. They're probably paying him a decent amount of money, so they may do him like Brian Battle and get rid of him. So maybe Kelvin Gastelum PFL 2026 fighting Ngannou, since he can't make weight. Kind of a shame he can't make weight. He's in the UFC Hall of Fame, but he just can't get over the hump of missing weight. Once a weight misser, always a weight misser. It's kind of interesting though, because earlier in the week on Media Day, Dustin Stoolsfist kind of manifested this happening because he was asked about the possibility of Gastelum missing weight because Gastelum missed weight so many times in the past, and Stoolsfist says he didn't care. He wanted Kelvin to miss weight so he could take 30% of his purse, and that ended up happening, except he even got more. He got 35% of his purse. So I guess that planted the seed in Kelvin Gastelum, like, hey, you know what? This guy's going to take the fight no matter how much weight I miss weight by, so I'll just miss weight, give up some of my purse, and maybe it'll give me an advantage, or maybe I don't give a shit. I'll just give up some money just to not make weight.
I feel like there's kind of always this narrative surrounding Kelvin Gastelum about the weight issue. Obviously, the fight's at 185. It is Noche UFC. There's a lot of good food around this week. Is there any worries about Kelvin Gastelum's weight this week?
No, I'm hoping he does. I mean, I'll take 30%. That's fine. He can come in a heavyweight. Oh, I'm good.
And then he also said he's encouraging you to miss weight. He says Kelvin can come in at heavyweight because I want his purse. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I bet he does.
Arman Tsarukyan should be fighting for the title, the lightweight title, but instead he's fighting a lightweight champ of over 10 years ago in a grappling match September 19th in Moscow, taking on Benson Henderson. Arman is rumored to be taking on Dan Hooker in November in Qatar. On that Qatar card, Louis Qaida would like another chance to fight Pitbull and make weight. Stop acting like the UFC wants you to fight in Rio. We know both of them know that's cap. I would even fight you in your backyard if I had to. UFC don't want you in Rio. Let's do Qatar. Both eat wheat to get ready. No excuses or BS. For the undercard fights on the boxing event on Saturday, Dana White's going to give a $100,000 performance of the night bonus and a $100,000 fight of the night bonus. Some UFC fighters might be mad because they've been stuck at $50K bonuses for the entire time.
So on the undercard fights, Canelo and Crawford are going to do just fine on Saturday night. They're going to be okay. But on the undercard fights, we're going to have a performance of the night and a fight of the night.
Okay.
$100,000 each for the fighters on the undercard from Shake Turkey. So you can be involved in the performance of the night and the fight of the night and take home $200,000 for these undercard fighters.
Reporter Sean Zittel was praised for asking Dana White some tough questions about amending the Ali Act, and he was shut down and berated by Dana, but he pressed forward, continued to try and ask follow-up questions. Dana said this is not the time and place for it. Some agreed with Dana there, while others argued that this is the first event that Dana's putting on, and he's standing right there at the podium. It would be the time and place to ask questions about a very big change they're trying to do in U.S. law to execute their business. Dana says that he can do a one-on-one interview and ask those questions, not at the press conference. But of course, Dana's never going to do an interview with someone who's going to ask tough questions like that. It is brave of the reporter to go out there and ask questions like that, though, because these things never happen at UFC press conferences, because anyone who ever tries to do something like that is going to get removed from getting credentials in the future, and he will be removed from getting credentials in the future. If he ever does a one-on-one interview with Dana White, probably will never happen, but if it does happen, he better not do it at a Saudi consulate. Holm coming off a loss in wrestling recently. Prior to that, she won in boxing. Dana White says that Holm's management ruined her life when she did not take an immediate rematch with Ronda Rousey.
These are the same guys that had Holm, and in my opinion, ruined her life. So,
how did they ruin her life?
She had the opportunity to rematch immediately Ronda Rousey, and for unbelievable money. Right? They turned it down, and they said, we don't want that fight. We'll fight Miesha Tate for the same money we have now. So big drama goes on between us all. I said, so you want to fight the second baddest woman in the world for the same money instead of fighting? Yes, that's what we want. And I told them in that meeting, you can ask my matchmakers, Lorenzo Fertitta, I said, she's going to lose by choke. She's going to choke her out. And that's exactly what happened. For the same money, instead of fighting Ronda for life-changing money that would change her life.
Nikisa Badarian, who's the CEO of MVP Boxing and used to be a CFO of UFC at the time that Dana White is talking about. Now they don't like each other, but he had some thoughts on the situation. He says Dana White's almost accurate. What he fails to share is there's no timeline for Ronda's return, and the money we offered was not an unbelievable amount. It was good money, but not 1 million pay-per-view buys money in any way, shape, or form. Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor both just made more money than was offered or what Ronda even made. He did say Misha would choke her out, though, but Holly wanted to stay active and believed in herself. Holly and Misha fought at UFC 196, which was headlined by McGregor versus Diaz, which was a very successful pay-per-view in terms of buy rates, over 1.3 million buys. So in the end, Holly probably did pretty well because she was the champion getting pay-per-view points at the time. New heavyweight fight is lined up, number 12 and 7 in the heavyweight division. Shamil Gaziev versus Sergey Spivak, November 22nd in Qatar. An opportunity for Gaziev to break into the top 10 if he can get the win over Spivak. Spivak coming off a loss to Waldo Cortez Acosta. Gaziev coming off a KO win over Thomas Peterson. He's won 2 in a row. Prior to that, he lost to Rosenstruik, a fight where he got roasted a lot afterwards. I guess some memes were born after that fight, calling him the Blob, calling him the GOAT sarcastically, but the UFC heavyweight division is so bad. For all we know, Gaziev could be contending for a title one day. If Tom Aspinall beats Cyril Gane next month, he may go on to become the winningest champion in UFC history just because of a lack of proper competition. Not that long ago, Dana White was desperate to have Jon Jones fight for him and fight Tom Aspinall, but now things have shifted. Now Dana is not interested in having Jon Jones fight for him. He feels he's not reliable, and now Jon Jones kind of desperately wants to fight on that White House card. So the power dynamics have kind of shifted. Dana says Jon Jones apologized to him for, I guess, accepting the Aspinall fight and then backing out. But while Dana appreciates the apology, he's adamant he can't rely on Jon Jones and he won't have him fight on that White House card.
You said Jon Jones called you and he apologized. What was that conversation like?
Well, it wasn't a conversation. He reached out, he wrote, like a text saying, listen, sorry how this all played out or whatever. I want to fight at the White House. I'm serious about that. And, just one of those type of...
Has that changed your view?
No.
No, not at all. No. So there's no chance he's going to...
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate him reaching out and doing that, but I need people I can count on for this fight, and I know who they are. I know who they are not.
Yeah.